What's up? It's your boy back at it again. Today we're going to change things up and do a little javelin throw technique analysis on one of my favorite javelin throwers of all time, Andrea's Thorkildsen. I'm sorry, I'm not good with these names, but you get the gist. As you can see from the title, 91.59. Very decorated. I believe he won in 2004 Olympics, and I believe he has a world championship title to his name too. But let's watch his throw. A lot of times over 90 meters, very decorated. And the reason I chose him is because it's really nice, simple technique, and I think he's a very good technical model, very repeatable technical model. Just very fundamentally sound. Let's watch it one more time. As you can see, very rhythmic. Keeps the javelin very steady. Alright, let's get started. Alright. Now, his run up, very nice. Very wide strides. Kind of leaning a little bit forward, which is good, because it'll make it easier to go into his cross steps. The other thing I want to mention, very light on his feet. And when you're very light on your feet, and the reason why you don't sprint and you stride on your forward steps in jav is because if you start sprinting, you're going to get very heavy on your feet, which will make the jav bounce and will make it very hard to make it stable while in the hand. But when you stride, it's very easy to let the jav be stable, because you want your jav to move as little as possible sideways or up and down. You want it to be very on a very straight path. Okay, but this is where he transitions. Very, very smooth transition. Back, still keeping his head facing forward while moving the rest of his body to the side. Very nice cross steps. I want you to notice for his cross steps that his left leg or his left foot is facing towards the front of the sector, and his other foot is facing kind of angled. His right foot, I should say, is facing a little more angled. I also want, and what this allows, this is actually kind of hard to imitate a little bit, but it allows for a more linear path at the end of the throw, which lets you get a lot more consistent releases. And the way, and he can do this while still getting a good pull on it, because pull on the jab, because he allows himself to get wrapped. Now normally, like, the tip would be right here. It would be, normally he would just put his hand back, his arm back, while keeping this same angle that he has the jab on right now. But you see how he kind of angles it back a little bit? That's how you get a wrap in the jab. And because he has his left foot and right foot facing the way that they do, he's able to get this tremendous pull on it. Now, having a wrap in the jab, I would recommend people who throw like probably under 60 meters don't even attempt this, because it can lead to a lot of things going wrong and lead to a lot of injury. I'd first master really getting consistent releases through the point of the jab before attempting the wrap. The wrap theoretically can get you bigger distances, although people do throw over 90 meters without a wrap. it can be more of a technical preference thing if you feel that you need to do a wrap. But again, I would first practice not doing that and get really good at not doing that first before even attempting it, because it can lead to really bad injury, because it's harder to throw through the point like that. You need tremendous patience and strength and mobility to stay on the jab and actually release it straight through the point. But the other thing I also want to mention is he's very, very relaxed with his left side, his left arm. Very rhythmic. And also, what I think he does extremely well is a push-pull motion with his lower body. What I mean by that is when he gets to his cross steps, he's pulling with his right leg while pushing off his left leg. So left leg push, or left leg while right leg pushes while pulls through, and then he does a push with the right, pull left, push right into the penultimate. And the penultimate is the last step where you do a really big pull with the left side, pull with the left, really stay grounded on the right, have your right really sink. On the release, you want your knee, this is what is really different from discus and shot, is that you don't really like pivot. Like, you don't really like stay that long over your right. You do like a little, you more just sink down with the right knee. And what that does is it, while getting your left leg a little wider, so you'll have a little wider base than you would in the other throwing events. So then you can land with most of the weight going forward into this really, really strong left side block, and then just pulling through. Okay, you don't want your right knee to travel upwards and rotate around. You really just want to think about just driving that knee down. And the other thing I also want to point out, which I think he does really well, is to hit a really strong left side block and jab. Ideally, you want your left knee to just land perfectly straight, your foot just planted firmly on the ground. And then you see how, I know it's kind of blurry here, when it lands, his left hip kind of caves a little like up. Kind of caves a little up. And what this does is it allows him to keep his leg straight without going up. His left leg straight without going up. So that way he goes forward with it and doesn't go up, so he can release through the point. And he also does a really good job of this upper body block, really making it go down and just holding it, making it bent. And then he gets all the way through, jabs out of his hand like right here. Really nice strong pull. And what I was talking about before with the, think of it like a little foot flip. So right now his foot's driving forward, his knee is driving down. And now his right leg's off. And now he's dragging the top side of his foot. Which slows down his momentum so he can stay in the runway without fouling. And he gets a nice straight pull because of that. Nice straight pull. And what I know it's kind of blurry, but you notice how the jab is back, while the elbow is facing a little forward, so then he can get, boom, really, really nice pull off it. What you don't want to do is, well, you see how first his chest goes through, his right pec goes through, then the arm, and then the hand. What you don't want to do is lead with the elbow. You don't want your elbow being forward. You don't want your elbow being really forward right here. And you also don't want your elbow. See how there's like a little slight bend right here in his right elbow? You don't want your arm completely stretched out, cuz you won't generate power, and that can lead to a lot of UCL problems. So what you want is your elbow really following your chest. You don't want it ahead of your chest, and you really want to keep your arm nice and long with that slight elbow bend. And I think he does a really nice job, though you can really barely see it because it's kind of blurry because he's going so fast. But he gets a tremendous stretch through. It's out of his hand already right here. And what that does is it creates a really, really nice flight. Really nice arcing flight. His jab is, well, you can see his jab. If his jab was facing like this, it will catch the wind going that way, and it won't go as far, and vice versa. And it'll have a harder time turning over. You really want this kind of angle on it, so it's just a really nice arc. And yeah, he gets a really, really, really nice solid technique. Obviously, throw that far. But I hope you like it, and see you later.